we're finally getting Illidan back. That's right. I mean, this is like the worst held secret. It's not even a secret. Chris Metzen said, perhaps you are not prepared for what is to come. You guys remember that in his interview when we were talking about the World Soul Saga and everything? So Illidan's return. Will it happen in Midnight? Will it happen in The Last Titan? Midnight is very much about uniting the elves and everything, right? And Illidan was an elf, so we could see him show up then. Or could be more of a Last Titan thing because he's currently sitting with one of the Last Titans in existence, Sargeras. Could this all happen right now? We start to see a trickle-down effect of what's going to happen in Midnight leading into the Last Titan? Or is Illidan just, you know, being teased that he's not going to show up until the very, very end? Let's see what Belilar has to say about how the lore is shaping out for Illidan's return in Midnight.
Sponsored by Squarespace.
You are not prepared. You are not prepared.
You are not prepared.
Soon again, we will not be prepared. Illidan Stormage is coming back. We don't know if
We're going in without add-ons this time, so maybe we won't actually be prepared. No weak auras, no add-ons, fight in these boss fights. Ooh, people are so scared.
it's in Midnight or in The Last Titan, but given his history with the Sunwell, I mean, he gave a vial of the Well of Eternity's water to the founder of the Blood Elves, Midnight would actually make a lot of sense. But either way, he is coming back, and when he does, everything will change. Here's what we know. Legion ended the year 32. The war then started the year 42. That is 10 years that Illidan has been gone. 10 years spent out in the cosmos with the Titans, jailing Sargeras, literally guarding the most dangerous being in existence.
10 years chatting it up, right? I mean, you can't imagine that they're just sitting there not talking. Maybe in the first year, Illidan held strong, like, don't talk to me, bitch, I won't talk to your ass. But I'm sure conversations have opened up. And maybe Sargeras has opened Illidan's mind to the fact that, hey, I'm just like you. I saw a problem, and I went for a radical solution. Are we so different after all? Am I really your enemy? Or is it my Titan siblings that are the real freaking problem here? Yeah, so I think eventually they're going to have a chat and heart to heart and realize they're not so different after all. And maybe we get a team up of some sort. Maybe. Who knows?
But here's the problem. We just learned the Titans aren't
He's probably
really
getting out of
saviors.
shape, right?
They kind of look like Azeroth's jailers. They've been manipulating and imprisoning our world since the beginning. So here's the question.
Do I think he'll come back evil or help us? I think we've already basically gotten to the fact that Illidan's not evil. Illidan's just willing to do fucked up shit to get the result that he believes we need. So Illidan's not evil. That was confirmed already. We've gone through it. He's done some messed up shit, but not bad. Sargeras is evil. Okay, even if he does end up helping us or joins our team in some way, shape, or form, the guy has still seen, he's gone full-blown Arthas. I mean, he's seen planets somewhat infected and decided to destroy them and everything that inhabits them because he was worried the Void was going to get to them. In fact, he's even seen planets that the Void hasn't gotten to yet and destroyed them because he thought it's going to get to them eventually, right? I mean, so all these things going down. He's made a lot of bad decisions. He's also killed off his siblings once. Now, they probably deserved it. But I would say even if Sargeras does end up helping us, I don't think we'd be able to say he's a hero of any sort. He's still messed up. We just happen to have the common enemy at that point.
Illidan crashes back to Azeroth, whose side will he be on? I mean, think about it. He spent a decade with the Titans. He stood guard over Sargeras with them, traveled the cosmos at their side.
Will he come back corrupted by Sargeras? No, I don't think so. Sargeras wasn't really a corruptive guy. He was never one to corrupt. I mean, even him taking up the kill Jaden and his generals and stuff, he never corrupted them in a way or like I wouldn't say corruption or like in a way an old god does where it whispers into your mind. Sargeras was just convincing. He just convinced people that this is the way. The Void is your ultimate enemy, and this is the only way to destroy it. So could he convince Illidan of the same? Maybe. Corruption to me deals more with like actual like withering away of the mind and shit like that. I don't think that's going to happen.
He know what they've done to Azeroth? Does he care? Will he defend them when we face the Titans in the Last Titan expansion? Or will he see them for what they are and turn his demon hunters against them? Here's why this actually matters to the plot. Illidan is the only mortal who has taken down a Titan-level threat. If he sides with the Titans, we're kinda screwed. If he sides with us, he might actually stand a chance. But to understand which way Illidan will break, we need to understand who the hell Illidan actually is. Not the redemption arc version from Legion that very much glossed over a lot of history. No,
right.
I mean the real Illidan.
Glossed over the messed up shit he did.
Who made deals with demons, the one who committed atrocities, became a dictator, the hunter who told us we weren't prepared. Was he a hero? Was he a villain? Was he both? And when he returns, will that even matter? So today, this is the story of Illidan. Let's dive in. I've also got a bit of a challenge for you. Give me 30 minutes, and with today's sponsor, you finally have the website that you've been meaning to build. So Squarespace.
Please stop talking about WoW lore. You don't have a clue. Fuck you, Anarian. How about that? I know my WoW lore. A decent amount. I know there's plenty I can learn about WoW lore, but I do love diving into it. I do. I love talking about it. It's one of the things that holds me tight to this game is the lore. I always enjoyed the lore, so I keep playing through it. There's been times where I don't think the lore is well written, of course. But for the most part, I enjoy the character arcs in this game, and I want to see where they go. Call it addiction. I don't know.
You can iterate in your copy and your content. It's all seamlessly integrated.
Also use Squarespace.
And if you've just been overwhelmed in the past, or you just want to start quickly with all of your bases covered, this set of features is literally made for you. And their core platform is always growing as well. They've got native video support, so you can have a gorgeous player, you can have video gallery layouts that are all interoperable with their e-commerce tools. It's real impressive, and when I needed sites, Squarespace was my first port of call because they make it easy. So, to get started today, go to squarespace.com/BellularGaming, check out Design Intelligence, and when you're ready to send your site live, use code BellularGaming for 10% off your first purchase of a site or domain.
There it is. Interesting comment from Ghost. If he comes back and he's glowing green, I think he'll be on our side. If he's glowing light, then we're doomed. Isn't that funny that you believe Fellfire is less corrupt than the light now? Like, that's how much the lore has changed, that we think if he's corrupt, if he's fully enveloped in the Fell, that he's more trustworthy than if he was enveloped by the light. Yeah, that's how far we've come with the lore.
Recently, we talked about the Highborn Elves, how they basically caused most of Azeroth's big problems.
Thanks, kids.
They alerted the Legion to our planet's location way back in the day. They sundered our world. They seeded elf wells across the planet that keep becoming world-ending threats. A prime example being the Sunwell, the place that we are about to try and save from some sort of world-ending threat with Xal'atath. And by now we've seen enough hints to suggest we may lose that battle. So, elves being a liability. It's Ashara's story, it's the Blood Elves story, we saw it again in Suramar, but it's also core to Illidan's story. You see, Illidan wasn't highborn by birth. Oh, he was a little different. He was marked with destiny. The Prime Naru Zero told us he was central to the Child of Light and Shadow, essentially something not dissimilar to a Jedi Chosen One who would bring balance to the Force. Of course, the point was that she got that wrong. He rejected it. And we'll get into that later. But Illidan's birth changed the course of history. He trained under Cenarius alongside his brother Malfurion, but Cenarius refused to let Illidan become the Kaldorai's top druid. Illidan was furious at this, so he left Cenarius. He traveled to the city of Zinnish.
He had his Anakin Skywalker moment. It's not fair. How could I be on the council and not be considered a master? Yeah.
Shari, and there he turned his talents to the arcane. Magic blasted his mind, and he became obsessed with the source of that magic. That source being the Well of Eternity. By this time, the Highborn Elves had been abusing the Well's energies to the point where it glowed in the cosmos and it attracted the Legion. Now, when the Legion invasion finally began, Malfurion convinced Illidan to join the resistance. But Illidan was actually horrified by his brother's plan. His brother wanted to blow up the Well of Eternity so that Sargeras couldn't use it. Illidan thought this was completely insane. He liked what the well gave them. He liked the magic. So he came up with his own plan, to return to Queen Ashara, pretending to still be loyal to her, and to then find the one thing that can close the Legion's portal to Azeroth, that thing being the Demon Soul. And that is when Illidan first met Sargeras.
Illidan slept with Ashara. I think we can confirm that as unconfirmed background lore. He convinced her by sleeping with her. Yeah, he showed up, wooed her a little bit, convinced her he's still, he's still into her and he's still on their side and he's loyal to her. And then bam, he went and did the shit he wanted to do.
Let's pause here.
You can say it. Guaranteed. Illidan is no simp. That's for sure.
At this moment, we have a young Illidan who is thirsty for power.
They do
whether
both have
that be
golden
nature
eyes.
or arcane. He is obsessed with the Well of Eternity, again seeing it as an ultimate source of power. And by this point, he was actually starting to admire the Legion. I mean, they were pretty powerful guys and he did like power. Sargeras then saw something in Illidan, something that he could twist.
Wait, is the Well of Eternity the one we see in the cinematic? No. That's different. That's different. They're in different locations. They're the same thing, I believe. Wasn't the well that we're currently defending right now in Quel'Danas, isn't that taken from a vial that was taken from this well? Sometimes I get fucked up with this shit, but I'm pretty sure it is. But no, they're two different wells that this one's not the one that we're defending in the cinematic.
So Sargeras gave Illidan a gift. Sargeras burnt out his eyes and gave him the ability to see magic.
Vial was from
In that very
Hyjal.
moment,
Yes,
Illidan saw the Legion. He saw them spreading throughout the universe in their limitless numbers. And he realized that as a
Right, when the High Elves were banished, basically, for their practice of magic and shit, and they went away. So you got trolls, Well of Eternity, turning them into Night Elves, and then you got elves who wanted to practice more magic-y shit, and the Night Elves didn't like that. They're more into the nature stuff. So then those elves who were banished away, who became the High Elves, elves love their wells. So we got to have a well too. So they had a vial, and they created the well that we're currently going to defend now.
Roth was doomed. So
The sun
he
well.
acted. Illidan found the demon soul, and alongside Malfurion, he closed the Legion.
Right. The difference is that this well, the sun well was infused with the light of a Naru. Right. So that's why it looks different than this well does.
His portal. But this caused a magical backlash that ruptured the land, that sundered it into the map that we know today. This sundering was as much Malfurion's fault as it was Illidan's. But you see, Illidan couldn't kick his addiction. As the well destabilized, he took 7 vials of its water. One of those vials would become the Sunwell.
There it is. See, where's Arcana said? He's still in the chat talking shit about out, and I just said this. Literally just said it. Anarian, eat shit.
Of course, leading to the
Sorry,
threat
I'm
we
being
face
petty.
at midnight. Several others were poured into Mount Hyjal,
Pre-watch.
creating a second Well of Eternity beneath the world tree Nordrassil. But the last well didn't work out, and
never
what
get
Illidan
credit.
was doing was extremely illegal. Remember, they had basically realized that their problem was all of this magic bullshit. They outlawed it, yet here was Illidan still going around playing fast and loose with the rules. So, he was put in prison for seeding another Well of Eternity. And that is how he spent 10,000 years alone in the dark. Fast forward 10,000 years and we reach the events of Warcraft 3, the second Legion invasion. And by now the invading demons were marching toward Mount Hyjal. Tyrande was working with the druids from their barrows, trying to fight back. And in the depths of Winterspring, she found an ancient door. And that door triggered a memory, one of Illidan's prison. Illidan would be the perfect weapon against the Legion, she thought, but there was a problem. His Night Elf wardens very much disagreed, and they were led by Maiev Shadowsong. Now, Tyrande brutally cut her way to Illidan. She even killed a Keeper of the Grove, and this began an arc of questioning. Illidan was powerful, but was freeing him worth the risk? Well, either way, she found him.
Let's be honest. Tyrande saw a shirtless Illidan, and she was like, shit, I picked the wrong brother. I'm going to have to free this guy. That's what happened. We all know
But
it.
she didn't free him. He destroyed his own bars, as if to say the only thing keeping him chained was himself. The Legion had sensed Illidan's return, though, and they knew the hunger that was inside him, so they set a trap. They sent the Scourge slave Arthas to taunt Illidan. Arthas thought Illidan was weak, but also mentioned a source of power that was close by. This source was called the Skull of Gul'dan. So, the bait set, Arthas left. Illidan, of course, found the skull. And what do you do when you find a font of demonic power? Well, maybe my answer, but also Illidan's, would be to consume it. And that put him on a path to Legion servitude once more.
There it is. Lord of the Outlands. Yep. If Illidan had 6 vials, from the Well of Eternity, where are the other 3? Were the other 3 vials not poured? There are questions about the missing vials. There are missing vials. I don't know if there's 3 missing vials or if there's more than that. But there are questions now. Maybe Illidan still got it, and maybe the Sunwell is gonna blow the fuck up like a nuke, and we're gonna have to make a new one. I don't know. Two were gifted to Vaj and Kel. Kel, who's Kel? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So I don't know where those fucking extra vials are, but there are vials out there. I know that. Two were gifted. So that would mean there's one that we currently don't know where it is. Is that right? Illidan's an early 2000s college gym bro. We know how those guys turned out. Yeah. Damn, of course I get stuck in ads while Sam explains. I'm not really doing a good job of explaining, though. I don't know where that... There is a missing vial. I know there's at least one. And everyone's wondering if it's going to show up at some point in midnight.
Arthas and Illidan's duel was the finale of Warcraft 3. But do you know why they were fighting? Well, it's actually quite simple. Kil'jaeden, one of the lieutenants of the Legion, threatened to destroy Illidan unless he killed the Lich King. So Illidan decided, yep, I need to kill the Lich King. First, Illidan tried a ritual. He literally wanted to shake Icecrown down around the Lich King's head. This did not work, and when Malfurion confronted him, Illidan admitted he was working for a new master, the Legion, even if it was for survival.
Oh, Kael'thas? Kael'thas Sunstrider? That's who was gifted another well? Or another vial? And so did he take it to Outland then to try to make another well? Was that his plan? Yeah, I don't know.
To stop a mutual enemy, Illidan was working for the bad guys. And with that, Illidan's mission had failed. Illidan then used memories from Gul'dan's skull. He decided Outland would be a great place to hide out from the Legion. So he went there alongside Kael'thas and Lady Vash. He killed Magtheridon, installed himself as the Lord of Outland, but of course the Legion could find him there. And that is when Kil'jaeden gave Illidan one last chance. And that basically was to go and take out the Lich King. You see, as time went on, the Lich King became less and less a tool of the Legion and more of a liability, essentially because, well, he started getting uppity and having ideas of his own, ones that he would try to further by using Arthas. So,
Right.
To clean all this up, Illidan marched on Icecrown. He had his duel, and he lost. With that, Arthas then became the Lich King.
The ultimate 1v1. The best Death Knight ever versus the best Demon Hunter ever. Death Knights are superior to Demon Hunters. There you go.
And this is when Illidan went off the deep end.
Let the crowd go wild.
Far more so than you probably know. You see, as Lord of Outland, he knew the Legion was coming, so he became a brutal dictator. He chained Magtheridon below Hellfire Citadel. He forced orcs to drink his blood, creating his own fell horde. He commanded the Naga to strangle Outland's last water sources in Zangarmarsh. He used water rations to control the natives. He even destroyed the spirit of Akama, a broken Draenei who had in fact helped him rise to power. He literally split Akama's soul in half. And when we discovered all of this, we basically said, Illidan has gone completely bonkers. He's gone mad, he's turned into a dictator, he's talking to a skull, he is a villain. So evil, in fact.
He's a poet. This is a poet, right? I mean, this is Shakespearean right here. Look at him, looking at the skull, thinking, yeah,
A villain.
that's all. He's not
so
crazy.
evil, in fact, that we stormed Black
He's
Temple.
a bit of a douche.
Took
He
him
is.
out. Then something happened. And that thing is Illidan finding redemption.
There it is.
If you by now are thinking that Illidan really does sound like a complete pure villain, well, you're completely right. But something about that legacy doesn't sit well. You see, in the Legion expansion, Illidan came back, but with a new backstory, with new things going on. You
Yeah.
see, once, when Illidan said, "You are not prepared," it meant we weren't prepared to face him, because he was way more powerful than us. But now it meant something different. It meant we weren't prepared for the Legion.
That's right.
You see, in reality, Illidan had been, in fact, working toward the Legion's end this whole time. What looked like an apocalyptic last stand in Outland was actually a desperate gamble for time.
Yes.
Illidan still did all of that bad stuff that I just covered, but he also did something else in secret, and that was training an order of demon hunters. Now, these demon hunters had been hopping around the cosmos fighting the Legion. They were, in fact, so effective that they blew up the planet Nathraza. So he was fighting hard. So hard, in fact, that the Legion really did just decide to go and deal with him. You see, instead of attacking Illidan directly, the Legion got one of their commanders involved. that being Doom Lord Kazak, who reopened the Dark Portal and unleashed...
Let us lay waste to this realm.
Alan, thank you for the follow and welcome to our Scourge. So that was their plan, was to use us to kill Illidan, because they know for one thing, and one thing for sure, is that player characters, when they see loot, they don't care which side you're on, they're going to kill you. So they're like, open up the portal, let these dumbasses in. They're going to pour in, gear the fuck up, and then go to Black Temple and kill Illidan for us, right? And that's what we did. That's what we did. Played right into their hands.
Us on Outland.
Yep.
And we, as it turned out, were more effective than anyone imagined. We stormed Black Temple before Illidan's plan was complete, and in those very last moments, his demon hunters returned with what they had been hunting for, the Sargerite keystone. This was the key that would open a portal
Right,
to
and
the
he had a
planet
legendary weapon.
Argus. And at the very end of that, he joins the Titans at the seat of the Pantheon, and he becomes Sargeras' jailer. And then we just see him disappear to somewhere off in the verse.
The World Soul Saga.
Okay,
This is where we are
as
now.
you've seen, Illidan has had a bit of a patchy history. He's worked with villains, he's committed atrocities, but in the name of saving Azeroth. And when he comes back, he's still going to be that same guy. And certainly Legion changed quite a lot of things, but it's also fair to say that many people consider the Burning Crusade expansion to quite bungle his lore and just not do anything interesting with them. I think most would say it's ended up working for the best. Now, what matters to us is that when Illidan comes back, he'll be the same guy, but he will have learned new things. Think about who he's hanging out with. And he will have seen how things actually work. But even with that, his motivations will be the same. His methods will be just as brutal. And there are three big considerations. First, the Child of Light.
Well, you got to remember, like, all the demon hunters are very much trained in the way of Illidan, right? They think the way he thinks. They do the things that he would have done. So the fact that we got demon hunters taking on the void, like, these are not regular elves who decided to take on the void and become void-bound demon hunters, whatever we're calling them. These are demon hunters trained by Illidan who have decided to now train in the void and take on the void side of things. They do it means Illidan would have done it too. So Illidan embracing the void, or seeing the power of the void, being able to use it against the the Titans or whatever else is coming our way, I totally think he would do it too. I do. As I said before, they are his pupils, his students, and they think the way he thinks. So when you got Sargeras up there telling about how the cosmos actually works, where the void stands, where the Titans stand, what the light is all about, like, he could totally educate him on all this shit. I think Illidan's going to be he's going to be willing to do whatever it takes to defeat the enemy that he sees as the enemy once Sargeras is done talking to him. Is he going to believe Sargeras and everything he says? Probably not. But is he going to start to see some truths that he didn't previously know? Yeah, probably. And one of those truths will definitely be that Aman'Thul and the rest of the Titans are actually pieces of shit.
In Shadow, a prophecy that the Prime Naruzira
Use your enemy's weapon against him, yeah.
Then Illidan rejected it. And now it seems there's another character stepping perfectly into that role, Arator, a character who we'll spend serious time with in Midnight. Second,
another character with golden eyes, just saying, maybe, I don't know.
Illidan is right there with the Titans, and right now the story is telling us that the Titans are bad news, at least for us and our goals. So either Illidan will reappear crashing through the sky after escaping from them, or maybe he'll return with them, and maybe he won't understand why that would make us all very nervous. Then third, there's Sargeras. Now he's supposed to be imprisoned with Illidan as his jailer, but the return of Sargeras is a question as big as Illidan himself. But the good news is we recently tried to answer it. So go and watch this video, which deep dives into when the Sword of Sargeras will crash back into relevance.
All right, it's a cool character arc and a cool story that's definitely going to get finished out at some point in this World Soul Saga. And the whole thing is the last Titan. Some people think it's Azeroth, although, we're kind of getting the gist that maybe Azeroth's not going to be a Titan. She's going to become something else, and which would mean to me that it's probably Sargeras is the lead in my mind to be the last Titan. Now, is Sargeras going to be alive? Is he going to be the only Titan left alive? I don't know. Who knows? And maybe, and like I said, maybe Azeroth's the last Titan. We'll find out soon as we head into Midnight.